Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Wolf, lead science communicator here at Ancestry.
I'm Dr. Lisa Sedgifa, head of DNA Research Strategy and Delivery.
And Elisa, we're here today to talk about the 2025 Origins update.
Yes, so exciting.
Yes, and it's going to be really big for customers. So I've been part of 5 of these updates, and you have me beat though.
Yes, this is update number 7 for me.
Okay, and you're telling me this is going to be bigger than any of the ones we've previously had.
Yes, this year we are going to introduce a lot more new regions and a lot more specificity in our regions.
Can you give us a sense of how this update is going to impact customers' results?
This year we have 68 new or updated regions. We know that about 90% of our members will see changes to their DNA results.
Right, everybody gets reprocessed through this new reference panel. They might see some region percentages increase, some decrease.
It is extremely normal for our members to see changes in the percentage assignments to their regions and also to see some small percentage regions disappear from their results. A lot of members this year, especially those with European ancestry, are going to see a lot more new regions in their results.
So one question that we get a lot from customers is, did my DNA change? Is that what's driving this change in my result?
Our DNA does not change and is constant through time. What does change is our science and technology and how we look at your DNA. Really what's changing this update is our reference panel. We have expanded our reference panel to 185,000 samples. And our reference panel is our collection of DNA samples that we would compare your DNA to. And so having more DNA samples allows us to have more different regions, and that gives you a much richer result.
Right, right. The example I give to members sometimes is, think of it like trying to paint with a box of crayons. Like if you have 8 colors in your crayon set, like you can only create such a detailed image. But if you have 100 colors in that crayon set, you can get, so much more detailed, you can get so much more precise. It just like adds a whole level of vibrancy to the picture and to your DNA story.
And I think our members are really going to love that.
All this detail that we're adding, a lot more granularity, customers are going to see big changes to the results. How are we going to help them navigate this?
We're going to help our members understand their results better by introducing this new concept called macroregions. So macroregions help us understand our results in the context of genetic similarity. And so these are more like genetic borders rather than political borders. So for example, a Nordic macroregion would include smaller regions such as Sweden, Norway, or Finland.
So it's taking all this detail that we have, but it's also grouping them together into more broader, easier to understand categories that also better align with people's identity and sort of what they know about their family, right?
Exactly. This will help our members understand their results in the context of their family history.
Okay, so that's what's going on overall, but let's get into some specifics. Can you tell us a little bit more about England? Because I know that's one region we have had a lot of change in this
Yes,
update.
we're breaking our English region down into 6 specific regions this year. Some regions are going to be as specific as, say, Dover and Somerset or East Midlands.
If a member had heritage back to England, are they going to see all of that showing up as one of these really specific regions?
Not necessarily, and this makes sense. It's unlikely that all of your English ancestors came from the same place in England. So it would make sense to see a mix of different English regions in your results. It's important to remember that genetic borders don't reflect modern political borders.
Absolutely. So, I mean, especially in Europe, right? The borders have changed so much over the past 100 years. What you think of as Germany today was part of Poland, was part of France, etc.
And what's also really key to remember is that people who are neighbors or geographically close to each other also share a lot of genetics.
A good example of that might be our Germanic Europe region. You want to talk a little bit about how that's changed with this update?
Our previous Germanic Europe region was a really broad region that encompassed Germany, Switzerland, Poland, Austria, and Czechia. And we have broken down that big Germanic Europe region into southern, eastern, and northern Germany.
So if I have family from, say, southern Germany, I'm going to see this new southern Germanic Europe region.
Yes, you will, but you might also see some assignments to the other Germanic regions.
And what about if I have heritage from East Germany? I know that that's a historically complex area.
Yes, Members from East Germany will get assignment to North Central Europe, which encompasses parts of Germany and Poland.
That's really important because you can't just look at the name to know what these regions encompass all the time, right?
Exactly, and that's why it's really important to click into the maps to get more detail about what these regions represent.
I think one of the things that customers will benefit from with these macro regions is it allows you to see kind of a trend in these results, right? So you're seeing England and you're seeing a really large assignment to one part of England, but also some of these smaller assignments to other parts. And you can use that as like a way to help orient yourself. So you can say, okay, all these regions are like in Eastern England rather than Northern England or just England in general. So even if the result isn't, all in one area, you can help by looking at the trend in those assignments to get a sense of more specific area to start looking for your family history.
And it's important to keep in mind that these results will change over time as our technology gets better.
And I think it's not just going to be people from Europe who are going to see this change, right?
Yes, absolutely. And even if you don't have European ancestry, a lot of members will see their percentages change or even maybe small regions go away.
And that's because all the customers have to be reprocessed with this new reference panel.
Yes, every one of our members will have their DNA reanalyzed as part of this update.
Can you tell us a little bit more about why customers' results might not match their expectations based on their family tree or what they know about their family history?
Yes, so we all know that we get half of our DNA from our moms and half of our DNA from our dads. But what's important to remember or keep in mind is that the DNA we inherit from our mom is a random 50% of her DNA.
Okay, so if there's a region my mom has, it's not necessarily the case that I'm going to see it in my own DNA results.
Yes, just by chance, if your mom has a tiny bit of Swedish DNA, for example, you might not inherit that.
Yeah, and I bet that's also true as we go further back in generations, right? So the same would apply for like my grandparents or my great grandparents.
Exactly. And the further back you go, the higher the chance that you do not inherit a piece of their DNA.
There's your family tree, there's your genealogical tree, but there's also your genetic tree.
Yes, so we have many, many genealogical ancestors, but you haven't inherited DNA from every single one of them.
Every generation, there's only a chance that you're going to inherit some DNA from each person, right?
Exactly.
So another common question customers have is what happens if you don't have a region for an area my family is from? For example, say I'm from Belarus.
We don't have a Belarus region in our current reference panel. So what would happen in that instance is that that person's DNA would get assigned to another region in our reference panel that is the most genetically similar. In the case of Belarus, that would be northeastern Poland or Lithuania.
Right, so we have to make an assignment to each section of your DNA, and it has to go to one of those 146 regions that we have in our reference panel.
Exactly. And those tend to be regions that are geographically close to where your ancestors are from.
But we're always making updates. We're always adding new regions. So in the future, we might have a Belarus region.
Yes, one day we may have enough samples in our reference panel to deliver a Belarus region.
Another thing to think about is when you look at your percent assignments, that represents our best prediction. But we know our model also gives us a range of other very likely predictions. And one thing I think customers don't realize is they can actually click into the results to see this range. And that can help you better understand whether something that's unexpected might include actually like a 0% as a very likely probability, or if something that seems maybe a little low actually has a range that goes much higher and would better fit what you think you should be having based on your family tree.
I would encourage all of our members to click through the experience to understand their results better.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, Elisa. We've added so much precision in this update, and I think members are going to be really excited by the new detail they can see. Can you tell us what we might be able to also expect in the future?
Yeah, so the scientists at AncestryDNA are always thinking about ways to deliver more value to our members. Part of this is giving our members more detail and more accurate regions. And this is really to help them in their family history journey and to learn more about themselves. The more specificity we can give our members, the better they're equipped to answer questions about their family history. Yeah, and the science is continuously improving. So in the future, we will have different reference panels, and maybe even different new ways to look at your DNA. So stay tuned.
Great. Well, we look forward to it.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe to the channel for more updates from our scientists.